Volume 1 3rd General Buddhist Studies, Venerable Thich Thien Hoa, Phat Hoc Pha Thong, Hoa Thuong Thich Thien Hoa Section 1/4. Human Vehicle Buddhism Lesson 01, 10. Buddhism A Introduction. The Buddha was born for a great cause, to enlighten sentient beings to attain Buddha knowledge. People often say superficially, all religions are good. This statement is either made out of politeness to please others, or because they don't fully understand the different religions. In reality, every religion has its own value in terms of purpose, the only difference lies in their level of attainment. But a good purpose alone is not enough. The important thing is how to achieve that purpose and bring widespread benefit to the world. If all religions were equally valuable, why did the Buddha Shakyamuni 2,500 years ago, when India already had 94 different religions, still descend to earth? It's simply that although there were many religions, none were entirely true, good, and beautiful, so the Buddha manifested himself to teach sentient beings the supreme and perfect enlightenment, so that they might be liberated from the suffering of birth and death and attain the freedom and unhinderedness of the Buddha. The Lotus Sutra states, because of a great cause, the Buddha appeared in the world. What is that great cause? It is to enlighten sentient beings to attain the Buddha's wisdom, so that sentient beings could transform delusion into enlightenment, see their true nature, transcend life and death, and be free from suffering and attain happiness. B. Main topic definition 1. What does the word religion mean? The word religion has three meanings. Religion is the path. Religion is duty. The way, religion, is the absolute principle, the essence. A. The way is a path, as commonly used in terms like human path, heavenly path, hell path, hungry ghost path, animal path. Paths can be good or bad, virtuous or evil, etc. According to Buddhism, as long as it remains within the realm of duality, it cannot be called completely ultimate. B. The way is duty, as commonly used in terms like the duty between ruler and subject, teacher and student, husband and wife, etc. Duty is often influenced by customs and traditions. Customs and traditions differ from country to country. Therefore, the term the way as duty is not entirely accurate to the Buddhist meaning of the way. C. The way is the absolute principle, the essence. It transcends speech and cannot be conceived. Lao Tzu said, "The way that can be spoken of is not the way." Once, someone asked a patriarch, "What is the way?" The patriarch replied, "Before the Buddha Majestic Sound King, there were no Buddhas or sentient beings. At that time, that was the way." The word way in Buddhism is synonymous with essence. 2. What does the word Buddha mean? The word Buddha in Sanskrit is correctly translated as enlightened one, one who has attained complete enlightenment and wisdom. There are three levels of enlightenment. A. Self-enlightenment. This means achieving complete enlightenment through merit, wisdom, and diligent practice. Unlike ordinary people who are still deluded and trapped in the cycle of suffering and rebirth in the mundane world. B. Enlightenment of others. This means that one, having attained enlightenment, teaches the method of enlightenment to others so that they too can attain enlightenment. Those practicing Theravada Buddhism cannot achieve enlightenment of others because they only focus on their own liberation. Only those who practice Mahayana Buddhism can attain enlightenment for others, meaning enlightenment for all sentient beings who are immersed in suffering. C. Complete enlightenment. This means complete and perfect enlightenment for oneself and others. Bodhisattvas, although they have attained enlightenment for themselves and others, their practice is not yet complete, so they cannot be called complete enlightenment. Only Buddhas can be called complete enlightenment. The word Buddha is a general term for those who have attained self-enlightenment. Enlightenment for others, and complete enlightenment, not a specific term for any particular person. Anyone who practices and achieves the enlightenment described above is called a Buddha. 3. What does Buddhism mean? Based on the definitions of the words religion and Buddha mentioned above, we can explain the term Buddhism as follows. Buddhism is the righteous and perfectly enlightened path leading to the essence of things, the absolute truth, free from all false distinctions, which has been fully discovered by enlightened beings. Buddhism encompasses self-benefit and benefiting others, self-enlightenment, enlightening others, and the meritorious deeds of saving oneself and others, achieving complete and perfect fulfillment. The main topic: when did Buddhism originate? There are two meanings. From an ontological perspective, Buddhism has existed since time immemorial, meaning it has no beginning, no limit in time. Because Buddhism is the luminous nature of sentient beings, where there are sentient beings, there is Buddhism, and since sentient beings have existed since time immemorial, Buddhism has also existed since time immemorial. From a historical perspective and within this world, Buddhism has existed for 2501 years, as of 1957, 544 years before Christianity. Who founded Buddhism? Buddhist followers need to know the history of their founder. Below is a brief summary of the main points in the life of the founder of Buddhism, the Buddha Shakyamuni. The Buddha Shakyamuni was originally a prince of Kapilavastu in central India. His father was King Suddhodana, his mother was Maya. His surname was Gautama, formerly translated as Gautama, and his given name was Siddhartha. The name Sakya, translated in Chinese as Nang Ren, meaning power, or ability, means compassion, or mercy. Muni means silence, or tranquility. Tranquility means being calm and undisturbed by suffering or joy. Tranquility means being quiet and undisturbed by afflictions, self-salvation and the salvation of others. Possessing complete merit. As a child, he possessed brilliant wisdom and extraordinary talent. Growing up witnessing the suffering of human life and the impermanence of existence, he resolutely decided to renounce worldly life and practice asceticism, seeking a path to liberation for himself and others, hoping to lead all sentient beings to enlightenment. After 6 years of ascetic practice in the Himalayas, he realized that such self-mortification could not lead to the truth. Therefore, he went to Mount Koda, sat under a Bodhi tree, a transliteration from the Indian language, and vowed, "If I do not attain enlightenment, even if my flesh is torn and my bones are broken, I will not rise from this place." With this courageous and resolute resolve, after 49 days of contemplation, he clearly saw the true nature of the universe and human existence and attained enlightenment. After achieving enlightenment, he traveled throughout the land, preaching the Dharma to guide sentient beings, transforming delusion into enlightenment, and freeing them from suffering to joy. For 49 years, like a great physician, diagnosing illnesses and prescribing remedies, he guided sentient beings on the path to happiness and showed everyone the way to enlightenment and liberation. At the age of 80, he entered nirvana in Kushinagara, in the Sala, Twin Trees, forest. This was on the full moon day of the second lunar month. What is the doctrine of Buddhism? The doctrine of Buddhism is contained in 3 canonical texts: Sutras, Vinaya, and Abhidharma. 1. Sutras. Sutras are the words spoken by the Buddha Shakyamuni during his lifetime, to teach sentient beings to eliminate suffering and attain nirvana. 2. Vinaya. Vinaya are the precepts that the Buddha established for his disciples to restrain evil deeds, cultivate good deeds, and purify their minds and bodies. 3. Treatises. Treatises are books mostly written by Buddhist disciples to clearly explain the profound meanings in the sutras and monastic rules, or to determine the nature and characteristics of the Dharma. distinguishing between right and wrong, the righteous path and the unrighteous path, so that people do not mistake right for wrong, good for evil. The Tripitaka is further divided into two categories, Mahayana and Theravada. The word vehicle means to carry, and in some places it is also called vehicle, meaning a chariot. Both vehicle and vehicle imply that the Buddha's teachings function like a chariot, carrying sentient beings from the worldly realm of suffering and affliction to the realm of peace and purity. From the ocean of suffering and reincarnation to nirvana and liberation. Mahayana is like a large chariot, capable of carrying many people at once. Conversely, Theravada is like a small chariot, carrying only a few people at a time. The reason Buddhist teachings are divided into Mahayana and Theravada is because the capacities and aspirations of sentient beings are not the same. Those who feel they only have the capacity to liberate themselves, like a small cart carrying a few people, follow Theravada teachings. Those who feel they can liberate both themselves and others from the cycle of birth and death, and willingly guide themselves and others to nirvana together, like a large cart carrying many people at once, follow Mahayana. These individuals clearly understand the illusory nature of suffering and the cycle of birth and death, and therefore do not seek early peace in their final state. Instead, they tirelessly strive to liberate sentient beings, and because they perceive that as long as sentient beings continue to suffer, they cannot yet attain peace. The spread of Buddhism. After the Buddha's death, his two great disciples, Kasyapa and Ananda, continued to propagate Buddhism in India. This was the first period. The second period was led by the patriarchs Nagarjuna, Ashvaghosha, and Asanga. The third period was led by the patriarchs Nagarjuna, Samantabhadra, and Padmasambhava. From India, Buddhism spread to neighboring countries, then throughout East Asia, and finally to the whole world. This spread followed two directions, one towards the north and one towards the south. See History of Buddhist Propagation, Course 5. In the north, it is called Northern Buddhism or Mahayana Buddhism, encompassing countries such as Tibet, China, Mongolia, Manchuria, Korea, Japan, Vietnam, etc. In the south, it is called Southern Buddhism or Theravada Buddhism, encompassing countries such as Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Indonesia, etc. However, thanks to convenient transportation and the widespread dissemination of Buddhist scriptures, the division between Northern and Southern Buddhism is no longer as clear as before. Within Mahayana there is still Theravada, and within Theravada there is still Mahayana. The benefits of Buddhism. The purpose of Buddhism is to bring about beautiful results for sentient beings in the future. 1. True permanence. Sentient beings are tossed about in the ocean of birth and death. They live in impermanence, sometimes young, sometimes old, sometimes healthy, sometimes sick, sometimes alive, sometimes dead. Buddhism offers practitioners a state of being free from the influence of this law of impermanence. 2. True bliss. Sentient beings live in a realm of darkness, sadness, and suffering. If they experience joy, it is only fleeting, like a thirsty person drinking salty water, feeling less thirsty for a moment, only to become even thirstier afterward. Buddhism aims to bring practitioners complete and endless peace and joy. 3. True self. Living beings are surrounded by countless adversities and constraints, like prisoners confined in a cell, never free to act according to their own will. Buddhism aims to liberate practitioners completely from these constraints, empowering them to fulfill their noble aspirations and live a life of peace and freedom. 4. True purity. Living beings are in a defiled and impure world, both in mind and body. Buddhism aims to purify practitioners of worldly impurities, enabling them to live a pure and clean life, untouched by the defilements of the mundane. Buddhism's benefits to the world are not limited to the future. Even in present-day society, it offers many valuable advantages through its spirit of compassion. Buddhism fosters greater love and understanding among people and society. Through the light of wisdom, Buddhism helps people and society to overcome ignorance and delusion, discerning true values from falsehoods and deception. Through its spirit of absolute equality, Buddhism eliminates social injustices and makes this world brighter and more peaceful. These are the benefits that Buddhism brings to the world. Conclusion: these benefits are invaluable, but they will never come to us if we do not learn and practice Buddhism. 1. Learning from the Buddha. Although the Buddha was an extraordinary and exceptionally intelligent being, even he had to study day and night, expending immense effort before he could develop the profound teachings he left for us. Therefore, if we want to become true Buddhists, we must first learn like the Buddha. We should not only learn from his teachings but also from his life, virtues, and actions. 2. Following the Buddha's example. But learning without practice is like a bag full of books and scriptures, overflowing with words and knowledge, yet utterly useless. Therefore, learning must go hand in hand with practice. We must strive to put into practice what we have learned, to do what we find good and right. Whatever the Buddha did, we must try to do. The Buddha possessed virtues such as loving kindness, compassion, joy, equanimity, diligence, and purity. We must also strive to cultivate these virtues. Only in this way can we avoid being ashamed of the title Buddhist and repay, in a small way, the profound and boundless kindness of our compassionate Father, Shakyamuni Buddha.